these guys are ardent comedians, even though we have
right.
fucking.
Oh boy, we have me responding to Keffels, responding to the Vanguard boys, responding to Keffels. Oh boy. Oh god, this is really an Ouroboros of content, isn't it?
Small political disagreement. I've
They're anti-electoralist? Oh, okay.
Yeah, bro.
It's so wild how just like deciding to radically reject participation in a system is somehow seen as like a cool position to have.
Someone made a video this funny roasting us, I would at least crack a smile.
Hey, Bryce! Know you'd be a lot prettier if you smiled.
Yeah, where you walking, sweet cheeks? Why don't you take a load off? Sit on my face.
100%. When Tim Black got us, we were like, "Oh, hey, you got us." That was funny.
Exactly.
So wait. Okay, I get it. So the reason that they're acting like this is because I didn't laugh about them lying about me? I think that's it. Apparently the Vanguard boys responded to me.
Also, why does it... Okay, I call them the Vanguard boys. I feel like I've always called them the Vanguard boys. The Vanguard boys. Does everyone call them the Vanguard boys? Because that just seems really weird. Right? The Vanguards. They don't like it. Keep calling them that. Why don't they like it? I feel like it's really endearing.
They responded to 3 minutes of me. I mean, I'm not surprised. People are generally pretty fucking stupid when it comes to me. Like, their brains shut off. May as well respond. Why not?
Oh, that is weird, Chainsaw.
Alright, I want to see what the Vanguard boys had to say.
Hey, Lord Fritus.
But do you want to just dive right into this Keffels video?
Oh,
Zach?
yes, absolutely, guys. So first things first, guys. Keffels is a way bigger channel than us. We're basically completely irrelevant in...
What? I'm pretty sure they're bigger than Keffels. Like, just off the top of my head. Like, I... Right? God, their name makes them so hard to find. The Vanguard boys. If I type in the Vanguard boys, do I find them on YouTube? Oh god. Why the #1 result when I Google this is absolutely not the Vanguard boys. There we go.
And speaking of boys,
they literally have 10,000 more subscribers on YouTube than Keffels does. 28,000. 18,000. God damn it.
In terms of size.
My channel has 17k subs and they have 28k. Why are they already, like, from the beginning, positioning themselves as the small beans? I don't understand. Yeah, it's just, ooh, I'm such a little guy. I don't get it.
And
I feel called out because I definitely do that to my partner sometimes. Like, just, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Internet impact, which is why you know that we got her so fucking bad with our video the other day. Like, you have to be dead ass humiliated and honestly fucking triggered, as you guys will see in this video.
What? Trigger. I'm...
Vanguard boys. Is that really the... Is that really the phrasing you want to use against the person who literally weathered the onslaught of Kiwi Farms like, I don't think she's triggered by like two left-leaning dudes saying things about her. Yeah, she beat Kiwi Farms. Like, what? You think you can trigger her? No. Notice there aren't any Vanguard girls. Sus. I mean, look, if one of them plays Fallout New Vegas, okay, it's only a matter of time.
Why are they so hostile? I don't get it.
Over here because she just plays a video of her getting like absolutely owned, just getting humiliated basically with her dog shit argument, you know, where she's going to come out and talk about how brave she is for saying that communism is bad. Wow, in America?
I never said communism.
I'm pretty sure Keffels still agrees with most of the things about communism. She just disagrees with the Communist Party of Canada. What? I'm not familiar with all of Keffel's positions. Like, we don't chat like a whole lot behind the scenes or anything, but like, why you gotta just like lie? You know, like, she's what I guess one of the weirdest things about being in the online left, right, is people will just tilt at windmills. They will think that you are like the ultimate bad guy because they saw you say one thing one time that you didn't 100% agree with. And then they will just come at you with everything they got. And I don't know why that tendency exists in the online left, other than like purity testing and like purity politics as a way to like designate your social groups, you know? Like, if you got accusations, just make the accusations. You don't gotta lie.
Communism is bad. I'm very confused right now by the hostility.
Yeah, it turns out communism is pretty cool, just not Marxist-Leninism. You know, the ideology codified by an authoritarian to justify being an authoritarian, which flies in the very face of a communist world where the workers own the means of production.
What? That's almost unacceptable rhetoric. Can you believe that somebody had the courage to come out and say on their media platform that they're afraid of communism? Wow. I mean, next she's going to come out and say that she supports bombing the Palestinians. This is just the
What?
What?
Am I too autistic for this, chat? Like, I feel like there's just something I'm not getting about their input here.
Sorry, I was really confused and flabbergasted by this.
it's the natural segues. It's whatever's caught fire in American fucking politics, apparently. Jesus fucking Christ. But anyway, we'll get into all of that.
What in the fuck was that? This is
whatever's caught. Keffels talks about whatever's on fire in American politics these days, I guess. Yeah. She's a political streamer. She talks about politics. What? So do you guys? Like, what? Where's this weird high ground coming from?
wild.
More, but yeah, honestly, this whole video just rides, as Gavin was saying before the show, it's just a huge victory lap for us. If you watch it, we're clearly hilarious. By the way, Keffels, if you ever want to sign up for a live roast, you can just reach out to our agents. We're happy to get back to you about that. It's not too expensive. I'm sure you can cover it.
What?
What? This is actually baffling.
I'm legitimately confused why they're so mad.
I mean, clearly, the only reason I can think of that they would be mad is that her response to them initially hit a little bit too close to home, and now they feel like they have to compensate. Now, granted, I have not kept track of this drama at all. I don't know what the back and forth was initially. I'm just coming in cold on this video, okay?
Like, why are they having a temper tantrum right now about me? They started this by calling me a grifter, and then I just responded to their criticisms of me. That was it.
But anyway, I guess we'll go ahead and play this video because if you guys missed this segment, it's one of our best that we've had in a while.
Oh yeah, dude, I actually forgot how funny this was until I was watching her react to it. So let's take a look here. This was on her live channel. LOL.
Agent, LOL. If you honestly, anybody that has a Guy Fawkes mask, you get an insta ban on the Vanguard. I'm sorry, it's not 2008 anymore. Grow up.
Hey man, calm down. I have my Guy Fawkes.
What was the dono? Oh, I see. It was Agent Mad Hat. That was the person who sent me the link to this in the first place. Y'all, please, you did not own her. Yeah, but this is very confusing to me so far. I don't understand what the hostility is or how
So far, they've also claimed to be funny, and I have not seen evidence of that.
I got owned. Like, all I did was say that I was confused and that I didn't think that they knew my positions, and they started off this react by saying that I want to bomb Palestinians when I've consistently been pro-Palestine for years.
Here, this was on her live channel. LOL.
Agent, LOL. If you honestly, anybody that has a Guy Fawkes mask, you get an insta ban on the Vanguard. I'm sorry, it's not 2008 anymore. Grow up.
Oh, I do think it's interesting that they said that I was like several times their size, and then they pull up the channel that has 17k subs, but then it scrolled down enough that you can't see how many subs are on the channel. So they had to position me as like massive compared to them, even though they have a bigger channel than me.
Hey man, calm down. I have my Guy Fawkes masks up there. It's right.
You
It's
don't
not
wear
there
it
right
on
now.
you don't have it as your fucking profile picture because you're not 12 anymore. Gavin used to ride his bike on November 5th around the neighborhood with the fucking beat for dead mask, like fucking like representing the revolution. You know, we had him from a young age. He's always been a comrade. I guess that's good.
I think there's a Guy Fawkes emoji in the chat too for members. So
Gavin's a true believer. Flew too close to the sun with that one. Sorry, Agent Mad Hat.
Yeah. So check this out.
This comes across as actually unhinged. I'm not gonna lie.
This caught my eye. I think one of our lovely audience members actually alerted me to this. They said, "Oops, I think I saw your guys' logo in a Keffel's video thumbnail."
Also,
so
how I am the Vosh now, so desperate. Gosh, wow. No.
yeah.
Yes. Referencing a Tom Hanks movie from like 15 years ago. Terribly desperate. What? Clearly a very serious thumbnail with the cartoon Vosh. The very, very sincere appeal to steal the Vosh audience.
What? I mean, Vosh and I are friends. This is literally a joke. These guys are really tilted.
I know. Whew. Honestly, Keffel's is like Vosh if Vosh just wasn't that funny.
Yeah,
Like,
we're entertaining.
If I disagree with Vosh all the time, but you have to give him the fact that he's a charismatic and genuinely hilarious guy. Watching Keffel's and
I do have to say, I feel like this. Now I'm understanding the title of this video, why these guys hold a secret grudge against women. Like, I feel like if Vosh was a lady, they would have the same opinion of Vosh. Is that uncharitable of me?
They are like aliens that are trying to be funny but don't KNWO how humor works.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
in my opinion, is kind of just like watching Vosh without any of the humor, just like a very dry, kind of sanctimonious version of.
Oh, Joker Oker, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Catalina Gearbox, thank you for the $5 dono. And Joker, we gotta play some League of Legends again sometime soon, okay?
The same kind of commentary. So
yeah, I don't quite understand it either. Also, by the way, I haven't seen any of this outside of the like very first, like very beginning portion. It actually looks like it's 22 minutes and 50 seconds. So I was like,
I just what a bunch of weird little goobers. They haven't even I don't think they've even watched the video yet.
I actually did not watch this full thing, so
Oh.
we'll be reacting to part of it for the first time together.
yeah,
I do really appreciate that Zach just admits consistently throughout all of this that he never does research on.
Joker and I play League of Legends. Yeah, I'm not like I'm super rusty, but I did play for like 8 years.
On any of the things that he talks about. I mean, they're allowed to not think that I'm funny. I mean, I don't really think that they watch my content, and I don't think that the content that I make is made for them. So, no offense taken. I just don't understand the hostility.
I also only watched the first like 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, so here's the video. No one understands communism, apparently, except for Keffels.
Only
No
I
one-
understand that communism is bad.
They're very mad. It's kind of cool how much they're shadow boxing and seething right now.
Exactly.
Wow.
They called me a grifter. Classic YouTube thumbnail. Respect. Let's take a look. All right, gotta turn this up.
He said at the start of the video he doesn't know who I am, he doesn't know what I believe, he has never followed me before, and now he's trying to do political commentary on what my motivations are. So, I don't know, if this gets uploaded and they want to have a conversation with me on stream, I'm more than willing to...
Yeah, like I don't understand why people keep trying to pick fights with Keffels. Like I genuinely don't. I feel like it's like no one who does that ever comes out looking good. Like she just like sits there is like what are you doing? You know, it's not effective. Like it doesn't get under her skin. And like only makes you look like a big dumb idiot. So like what are you accomplishing even?
to have that conversation because it seems like a lot of this is being said out of ignorance and lack of research, which, you know.
Oh, good. Oh, good. This is just a visual delight for all of you, isn't it? Oh my god, now we have me reacting to Keffels, reacting to the Vanguard boys, reacting to Keffels, reacting to the Vanguard boys. I mean, how many more reacts can you get? We've packaged all of them into one video. Okay? Just look, if you don't have your daily dose of vitamin React, okay, you could die. And now this is 500%, 600% of your daily dose of React. So you don't die.
No,
Lack of research.
I'm not
on
like
the
super.
internet. Could you believe it on Twitch? Are you sure? I don't know about that. It's on. Oh fuck. First, there's too many commies and tankies, and now there's a lack of
Calling us
research
out,
on Twitch.
calling you out for not being an expert.
I'm an improper journalist on the history of Keffel's beliefs, but I'm overreaching when I say that the history of America has been pretty one-sided on its takes on communism. You're not exactly a fucking crusade.
Yeah, this is just kind of sad. Yeah, they're really trying incredibly hard. Right now, they're making fun of the fact that some people like to do research on what they're talking about.
Hater for, you know, new information. If you're out here being like, guys, I think we should really be worried about
ReactCeption.
True, Catalina Gearbox.
the scourge of communism. Like, are you really sure? Because there is no fucking communism in America at all. Far from it.
To be fair to Keffels, I do believe she's Canadian and now lives in Europe. I think so.
Oh, you're right. And communism's just fucking everywhere in Canada and Europe. Sorry, Gavin. It's a communist utopia. It's just like North Korea over there.
Right. I would be down to chat with Keffels, though. You know, for as much as I have my disagreements, she seems like at least a nice, you know.
We're several minutes in, after insulting her over and over and over again. I would talk to her though. She's not literally a demon.
Respectful
I'm sure
person.
she's fine. I always think it's fucking. I just think it's funny, and I have to continue to roast.
I think I think actually she's kind of she's fine. I'd be willing to talk with her. Like what? Okay.
You if you like find an obscure video that somebody made about you and then you just mauled about it on your own fucking show, like at least laugh about it. Like at least be like, wow, that was a really good joke. These guys are ardent comedians, even though we have a
Right.
fucking one small political disagreement. I've anyway, we can keep going. I don't have to.
Yeah, bro. If someone made a video this funny roasting us, I would at least crack a smile.
Hey, Brains. Know you'd be a lot prettier if you smiled.
Yeah, where you walking, sweet cheeks? Why
Yeah, this clip feels apropos.
don't you take a load off? Sit on my face.
100%. When Tim Black got us, we were like, oh, hey, you got us. That was funny.
Exactly.
So wait. Okay, I get it. So the reason that they're acting like this is because I didn't laugh about them lying about me? I think that's it. I do think it is kind of weird that they need to constantly reaffirm that they are funny. I think if you're funny, you don't really need to tell anyone that you're funny. Super mad about that but I think that they should have
Super
this
mad.
knowledge if they want to do political commentary in the leftist space.
Oh. Well, we're not lefties, right? We're pretend lefties. We're a communist podcast.
We're fascists, Zach.
Yeah, we're fascists. Woo, everybody who's not me is a fascist. Let me guess.
You know what
Wha-
this reminds me of? This reminds me of Benny. Like the refusal to actually engage with what's being said and just the sarcasm and passive aggressiveness.
At some point, this comes back to World War II. I don't know.
So I noticed that this went out. The Vanguard podcast put out a video recently.
She got our name right. She didn't call us the Vanguard Boys.
Oh my god, they really do hate that. Oh.
Oh, well, yes. Shout out to you. Appreciate
Apple's
that.
new anti-communist grift. And I wanted to hear them out and give my thoughts on what they have to say.
Honestly,
Shout
thank
out
you,
to the
Keffels. I
boss.
appreciate that.
You guys keep up with. Yeah, it was a respectful intro.
10
no
times.
roast.
Wait, okay.
What?
Okay, now this is kind of funny. Now they're thanking me and calling me respectful, but at the start of this, the introduction to it, they were going so scorched earth.
It's like they shifted their tone because they. Well, I guess is Keffels watching like a live stream as opposed to like a video they actually put out? Maybe like they tone shifted for like the segment? I don't know.
More
Enough to
respectful
get-
than us.
Didn't call us Columbine shooters or anything like that.
Fascist.
What? Why would she call them the Columbine shooters? Okay, but it is a video that they put out. This is so weird.
Just tanky sympathizer.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of easy jokes you can make when you click on a Vanguard
Honestly,
video.
I expect everyone to make it. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you entertain your audience. We're not journalists. Keffels, you don't have to worry about scrutinizing our journalistic integrity. Integrity. See, I can't even fuck.
See, I agree with that position. I just think that you should know why you're mad about things. That's it. I just think that if you're going to get mad about something, you should know why you're mad about it.
Fucking speak correctly and you're trying to have a debate with me about fucking leftist politics? Absolutely not.
Yeah, and reminder, this was a totally off-the-cuff segment inspired by a question from the boss. So shout out to you, the boss, if you're in the chat right now. This is all inspired by your query. With Keffel Shameless Grift, have you seen some of her recent tweets? She's like really going in this like anti-communist direction. posting shit like this all the time. The reason I'm so passionate about the topic of tankies is because I used to be in the Communist Party. I used to defend Stalin. I used to defend genocide. I know what they say behind closed doors. They want power. And if they get it, they want to put all actors in camps. So you guys know that like I'm not a tanky myself, and Zach and I don't really do the whole thing where it's
We
like
run the tanky brigade. What are you talking about? We're flag waving tankies. We're soldiers.
but it's
I'm gonna put this on 2 times because I'm just like, this is getting too far into reacts.
I do have to say, like,
They think the left and feminists overreact to everything. They must be stuck in 2010.
maybe. But like, I guess I'm just really confused about I'm skeptical of their claims now of like not being part of like the tanky brigade, because like they hear people might be put in camps if this certain segment of this certain ideology come into power, and it's like, but that has happened literally numerous times when like authoritarians take power using this ideology as a pretext. Like, but we're not part of the tanky brigade. Like, goddamn.
I also do think it's really weird when people supposedly on the left somehow end up spending more time shitting on like communists than they do like right wingers or conservatives.
So I guess my first criticism of the point that they're making here is that I am talking about tankies. The reason that I use the word tankies so often is because I want to make a distinction between communists and tankies. I don't think that everyone who is a communist is a bad person, and I agree with a lot of communist political views.
So I do kind of understand. Oh, go ahead.
Cut you off. Go for it.
I was just going to say that while I do understand the distinction she's making between tankies and just communists in general, the way this tweet is worded absolutely makes it seem like she's talking about communists in general, because she says, I used to be in the Communist Party, and then goes on to basically just say everyone there was...
You're 2 minutes in. You're 2 minutes in. She's clarifying her position at 2 minutes in.
Tanky, I was a tanky. So it makes it sound like, you know, if you're in the Communist Party, you're a tanky. If the Communist Party gets power, then they're going to put...
She literally just made the distinction for you.
Their detractors in camps or whatever this ridiculousness is.
100%. And we all know what the crux of this is, right? She's making a big deal out of a small, minute internet fringe, right? And she's...
How is this only 2 minutes in? It's only 2 minutes into their official react of her video.
Basically doing that because she knows that most of her audience is probably dead set on the like Ukraine, rah, flag waving, I hate the fucking Stalinist Russia, USSR, and the...
What? Okay, that's... I don't think that's what the majority of my audience is. I never talk about... I don't think I've ever done a single stream on the Ukraine-Russia conflict before.
That's what her entire audience has been conditioned to crave. Bosch, you know, the whole like Xander Hall, like fucking like I put a Ukraine flag in my bio and I'm on Twitch, people that I don't know your name, right? Gavin and I are so only on YouTube. Like I don't give a fuck about what anybody does on Twitch unless they come on our show and we talk about it with them. But it's just, that's the kind of audience that...
I don't know. It seems kind of like you guys give a fuck. I'm getting a lot of give a fuck particles coming off of this video.
You're cultivating, and it's like, oh, I'm only talking about this like super duper ultra fringe quarter of the Communist Party all the time. And it's like, yeah, do you not understand that that's a tactic of what people do when they want to smear an entire movement? Oh, I'm actually not against Black Lives Matter. All I do is spend all day talking about those like super fringe militant black separatist group and talk about how evil and terrorist infested they are and how they actually hate all white people and want to exterminate us. And it's like, well, why do you talk about that all the time if you're not...
What is bro waffling about?
Also, who on the left is talking about Black Hammer all the time? Like, I haven't thought about those guys in like 2 years, and haven't seen anybody mention them recently at all. Who are they talking about? Who are they shadowboxing here?
Like, I wish you could just focus on what I'm saying and the positions that I'm holding.
Trying to rapidly misrepresent like a very collective movement like a Black Lives Matter, or why are you talking about the most nefarious war crime denying aspects of the fucking like deep fringe? Like I remember the first time I found out about tankies, I didn't even think they were real. And this is after a life of being a leftist, right? This actually,
Same.
you know, like voting and as a lefty, and like
it wasn't
fucking
until after we started this podcast actually that I found out about them.
100%. So we'd already gone through 2 Bernie Sanders presidential cycles basically before we found out what the fuck this was. And when I found out about it, we started making jokes about it, right? We made up the Danny Haifong diagonal to make sure that like, oh, where are you falling? Are you on the safe side of tankydom or not?
So wait, they didn't know what a tanky was before Bernie Sanders. Just
Come on, dude.
look, I don't want to go too hard on them. I think that they're just kind of uninformed and they laugh at the concept of even being informed in the first place. But I would be absolutely embarrassed to be holding that much confidence in positions that I freely admit I don't know about.
You know, can I retweet you? All those kinds of deals, right? And it's very it's very obvious, right? I could use a lot more like it's kind of like how they try and portray gay people as groomers, where they're like, oh, I'm not talking about all gay people, I'm just talking about the groomers. I'm just talking about the groomers. It's all that same kind of horse shit, right? So anyway, I think that's if she's like, why are they being so disingenuous? It's because we know what you're doing. Like we can see very clearly that what you're trying to do is you're trying to rally up all of your like pro NATO, like fucking
What?
I hate NATO. I don't think that NATO should exist. What are you talking about? I don't think you have ever heard you talk about NATO before. Yeah, I haven't really talked about NATO very much.
Gasp.
I feel like there's a time and a place to talk about NATO. And I feel like bashing NATO in the time after Russia invades Ukraine was just not the time or place. But I think that NATO has been involved in a lot of very heinous actions, and I think that NATO has outlived its purpose because it was formed as a way to combat the Warsaw Pact, which
I mean, I think I disagree with Keffels here, mainly because we're literally looking at the conflict with Russia invading Ukraine. Like that seems to be like if NATO had outlived its purpose, like Russia would not be doing that. You know? Yeah, I think I disagree with this one.
no longer exists.
I hate communism.
Now, granted, maybe the argument is like NATO has outlived its usefulness because Russia is invading Ukraine and is literally on like, you know, its last gasp of militarism and won't be able to do this again with another country, but like still.
I hate Russians. Like, I want the United States to continue this proxy war in Ukraine.
But yeah, that being said, Keffels still isn't the devil for saying that. Like, that's a fine point of disagreement, I think.
Until the bitter end, even though we actually can see pretty clearly that that's not going to happen at the
Hello, my dude raiders. Welcome to the cavalcade of silliness that is this level of React content. A level few have ever reacted to before.
this point.
This is a lot of shadowboxing. Ukraine was invaded by Russia. They're fighting a defensive war for their own sovereignty. I don't see how it's a proxy war.
And, you know, to gin up fervor with your audience, you're trying to focus on a very, like, niche, internet-ridden, powerless group, and as a result, smearing a very ethical and very sincere goal.
Okay, so tanky, as I say it, refers to someone who is typically a Marxist-Leninist who is a hardline supporter of the foreign policy decisions of authoritarian leftist countries that are nominally socialist. Tankies are in power in countries like Cuba, in countries like China, in countries like North Korea. They fit that definition.
Annie is a really good editor, and I should inquire about Annie's rates.
Saying that they're all powerless is very silly. Like,
Also, everyone, you should go follow my dude, okay? He's a good content creator over on twitch.tv.
Yes, tankies don't hold any power in the United States. However, I am not American. I am not talking
Kiwi
about
Burb.
America in the tweet that I made.
Also, hello to all the new folks in here. Hello, Kiwi Burb. Hello, Hustler 3 of 4 Culture 3. Hello, Zach Marsh. Hello. How y'all doing? Do you stream on other platforms other than YouTube? Mohammed, I stream on Twitch, and the on-screen chat that you are seeing is over on the website riverboat.gg. You just type that into your URL, and you can come on over and be in the on-screen chat. And I can neither confirm nor deny that I may or may not have streamed on another website for adults only. But that is behind me now, at least until harsh economic times happen again.
Or in general, I believe that it is a very international discussion. Even the term tanky doesn't come from American politics.
Goal of people to give fucking, you know, equitable distribution of wealth. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Plus, I think that there's been kind of a redefinition of what the word tanky even means from this crowd of BreadTube. I think Soul Life puts it well when he says left of Vosh equals tanky. And it's kind of true in the mind of a lot of the kind of Vosh acolyte streamers like Keffels, like Dylan Burns, just to paint with a broad brush, you know.
What? I need to hear that again. I'm sorry. What?
From this crowd of BreadTube. I think Soul Life puts it well when he says left of Vosh equals tanky. And it's kind of true in the mind of a lot of the kind of Vosh acolyte streamers like Keffels, like Dylan Burns, just to paint with a broad brush.
Dylan Burns is literally not a Vosh acolyte? Like, they're on good terms, but, like, Dylan is literally going to, like, the front lines in Ukraine and doing, like, actual war journalism. Like, what? I don't think these guys know. You know, I'm starting to think these guys don't know what they're talking about.
You know,
So I'm willing, as I said, to give
Yeah, also, neither is Keffels. Keffels has been a shit poster for a long time. And you know what? She made shit posting into, like, a form of radical activism by taking down Kiwi farms, okay? Like, Keffels has always done her own thing, and, like, isn't really even... Has Keffels been on, like a Vosh stream? Like, has Keffels, like, gotten onto a Vosh stream ever? She made an art out of shitposting? Yeah. Yeah, I guess having talked to Vosh 3 times turns you into an acolyte. I guess.
About an actual definition of tanky, I know where the origin of tanky is. Neither Vosh nor Dylan Burns know as much about Marxism-Leninism than me. I say that with complete confidence. I don't think Vosh has read even 1/3 as much Lenin, Stalin, or Mao as I have. And I think it's just very weird to shadowbox my positions when I am one of the most educated people in the political commentary space online on the left on this topic.
It is true. Now
We're a communist podcast, according to Dylan. Shout out to you, Dylan. I'll rep those credentials. At least I'm not of war pornography.
Okay, wait. We gotta. We're not a communist podcast. You literally named your podcast The Vanguard. We're not communists, say men who co-host the We're Communists podcast.
Exactly.
I'll rep those credentials. At least I'm not of war pornographer.
Dude, Dylan Burns is at least, like, putting his money where, like, even if you have no respect for Dylan Burns at all or his positions or whatever, at the very least he's putting his life on the line. Like he's been out there reporting while bombs get dropped on his position. You know, he's had to like flee for cover while shrapnel hits the area around him. You know, what are these fuckheads doing? What are, like, oh, he's a war pornographer. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and go do something that puts your life on the line for something you believe is important or just. Fucking chuckle nuts.
Exactly. Right, but
they literally think of Dylan Burns and their testicles shrivel up in their nutsacks. You can like hear it in their voice and the way they like have to like laugh at each other to like encourage each other, you know? Like they hear the name Dylan Burns and they just like feel their testosterone levels like drop in comparison. Like absolute ghouls.
Like, in my opinion, a tanky is someone like Caleb Maupin or Haas, obviously Jackson Hinkle, like someone who literally celebrates and does.
Okay, so they're doing the thing again when they actually agree with the positions that I'm making, but they attack me at the same time. I don't understand what they want.
It's because they're ideologically incoherent and they don't know how to articulate it. And so instead of just acknowledging the incoherence and inconsistency in their positions, they project it onto other people. It's infuriating.
Because your position are just Bosch's that he handed down to your womanly brain from his big, strong, and manly brain. Yeah, no, I came to my positions on my own. I don't care what Bosch's positions are. He's my friend, I like him, but he doesn't inform my politics.
Apologia for authoritarian governments, acts like North Korea is a communist utopia, stuff like that, just over the top. But now all of a sudden, according to the likes of Keffels and Dylan Burns, Hassan Piker is a tanky because he doesn't think that America should be funding the Ukraine war effort. Like, that doesn't make you a fucking tanky. That just means that you're against America playing the role of the world police. That's called being a leftist. That's something.
No. Hassan has tanky positions. At the very least, tanky adjacent positions, if not full blown, right? Like he straight up was making the argument and has multiple times made the argument that like Taiwan should just be part of China because it's ethnically Chinese. Crimea should be part of Russia because it's ethnically Russian. The Donbass should be part of Russia because it's ethnically Russian. Like he makes the same arguments as like the propaganda networks of like Russia or China. Like that he buys their line, hook, line, and sinker. You know, like that's the issue there. I didn't even know about what he said about Taiwan. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. He has many positions that tankies do. Yeah, maybe a mild case of tankyism. I don't know if you asked. I've never seen anyone ask him specific questions about like Stalin or Marxist-Leninism, but I feel like I feel like he probably would not give very great answers.
That like 5 years ago we all agreed to, but now thanks to this weird line of logic from people like Dylan Burns and like Keffels, let's be honest.
This is very sad. I think they should spend more time watching the video and talking about my positions instead of name dropping other political commentators that aren't me and then fighting those.
Have I heard about Destiny? Boy howdy. Have I? And you know, for one, I'm really relieved that you know, I don't have to worry about whether or not my life is planned out because you know, things are just destined to happen, and I'm glad that that concept exists.
Those positions instead. Like, it's been several minutes of just ranting now because they're actually incapable of engaging with the positions I'm making. Like, they actually did a bit, and then they just ended up agreeing with me. They want. It seems more like they want blood sports than anything else.
See him at the
Like, no, I don't
Yahoo.
think that Hassan is a tanky. I think that he, more than anything, one of my criticisms with Hassan is that he is too friendly to tankies, and
Yeah, like I agree with this, right? Like Hassan like dabbles with tankies, like I think he unquestioningly digests a lot of tanky content through the lens of like American diabolism, where like simply opposing the US state is always good. You know, and I think that that lends him to a number of tanky positions. I don't know if he's full-blown tanky, though. I would need someone to directly, like, have a conversation with him about, like, Marxist-Leninism and Stalinism and stuff like that.
uses his platform
He's tanky
in
curious,
order to
yeah.
funnel his audience
Yeah.
towards tankies, but I don't think he himself is one.
Be honest, now all of a sudden you're a tanky if you oppose American foreign policy. Pretty crazy world we're living in, if you think about that. Given that, again, that was
Destiny was talking about his mom on stream, and she said he would have liked Cuba because they were living on a beautiful plantation. Look, I don't care. I don't care about Destiny. I dislike him intensely and immensely, but like I don't know that necessarily wasting breath on that is gonna help. It wouldn't. I would also need receipts to even like look at that.
was pretty uncontroversial when I feel like even this podcast started.
100%. 100%. You guys just don't understand what will happen if Ukraine. Yeah, just one more war, bro. Please, just one more. I swear to God, bro. Just one more war. Just one more war. One more war, bro. I swear, this is the last war, bro. All other wars are irrelevant except this war. Please fund this war.
But tankies are people who are hardliners for the foreign policy and the human rights abuses of countries like China and North Korea.
Pause it
And I
again.
have no issue with
Are the tankies in the room with us right now, Cuffles? Are the tankies right here? Who are the
Yeah, they might be Vanguard boys. They might be.
tankies? Are the tankies Barack Obama? This is the those are the people that are
How do you even respond to this? He's acting like a child.
I can do
It's
it. I
just
can fix him.
incredibly smug. I don't get it.
denying fucking atrocities overseas. Are the tankies Donald Trump? Are the tankies the American State Department, Joe Biden? Are the tankies everybody that's ever been fucking in charge my entire life? Those are the people.
Honestly, I think the reason that they're acting like this is that they didn't like that they got showed up by a woman. Specifically Zach, I think Zach is a very insecure man, and the fact that I called him out for having bad political positions is making him act like this. He needs to assert his dominance over me. That's it. I called him out because he doesn't know what he's talking about, he has bad politics, and he's being kind of a smug, condescending dipshit.
People who are denying the war crimes around the globe, not these powerless, fucking amorphous group of leftists that are mostly shit talking trolls that don't actually believe half the shit they do. And the people that do believe that shit, I mean, I'll tell you what, the only tanky I've ever met in real life was this homie named Don, and he was in a harsh noise band called Earth Piss, and he was an overnight pizza manager at this place Sarpino's where I used to make pizzas at when I was in high school. All right, yeah, he doesn't have any power. He was born in Croatia and he was smoking a lot of meth by the time he was 15 because he moved to America, didn't know anybody. Sad story, but these are the real life tankies. They're not exactly building a coalition in Congress. Okay, so why are we fucking focusing on them? You want to talk about the people denying war crimes? Let's talk about the people that are denying war crimes that have power.
Okay, I'm absolutely willing to do that as well. Why can't you?
Look, guys, you can't walk and chew gum at the same time, okay? If you're chewing gum, it means you're anti-walking, and if you're walking, it means you're anti-chewing gum. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
Talk about multiple things. Why play defense here? I don't get it. Calling this out, I'm not anti-communist. And the reason that I call this out so much is because I want the left to be stronger.
Oh, wow,
And
I've never
we
heard
are
that before.
seeing a shift right now.
I've never heard that before. No, the reason that I call out the rabid terrorist ambitions of the left is because I actually am a leftist. That's why I'm leaving the DSA, because I can't.
Well, yeah. If you believe in a cause and people you see are actually betraying that cause or being unhelpful towards the fulfillment of that cause, it is good to indeed call them out.
I cannot stand the way that they've cheerleaded terrorism in the last few weeks. I want the
Personally, I'm
DSA to be
anti-walking.
better. I want
True
the world
Revolver
to be
Josh
better,
a lot.
and that's why I
How you
can't have
doing?
any part.
Oh my
It's
God.
the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same parallels. I can make 100 examples of this. This is how media works. But people on the internet think they're so savvy. They're just gonna pick out a random like, oh, online only. I invented my own beat. Like, get out of here.
I'm not in the DSA. I have never been an American citizen. I don't understand this weird drawing of parallels that don't make any sense. But have you noticed that Zach is white and Adolf Hitler was white?
Oh my
Adolf
god.
Hitler talked about politics, and Zach has also been talking about politics.
Oh my
I don't know, there's
god.
a lot of comparisons you can draw here, and I think it's weird. I think it's really strange that there are so many things that both Zach and Adolf Hitler do. Like, I bet Zach drinks water. Adolf Hitler also drank water.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm just
It's true.
asking questions. I don't know why all these parallels exist.
Come on.
Dude, this is like the niche terminally online version of that why I left the DSA article in The Nation. Oh my god.
Where this is not a minority position, and never listen to anyone who says that this is a minority position when
Never
so
listen
many
to
people
anybody
around
who-
the world are
What? Find them for me. Where are they? I dare Keffels, wherever the fuck she is, to have a tanky rally. Like, just set them up
What?
for success. Be like, all the tankies rally around here. If you get 15 people to show up, I'd be appalled. I'd be shocked. Yeah, guess what? You're not doing any coalition building with 15 people. When I went to my local DSA meeting, all right, there was like
What? Okay, I can do this. Love how it was not hard. It's like, oh wow, it's crazy. Wow. All you had to do is 3 words into Google in order to find that there are actually huge rallies for tanky parties. I don't get it. Expect them to do research? I guess not. I guess that's bad to do. Getty Images.
Look, knowing what you're talking about only gets in the way of saying more words. The less you know, the more words you can say. All right?
I mean, I could like go over it, but I think it's just such a ridiculous concept that I would have to prove that this is a thing when I'm talking about countries that hardline Marxist-Leninists are in power. Literally, the biggest country in the world by population is like, fucking come on. Y'all aren't mad at me for this derailing Degen night. I had no clue you'd react to it on the fly. Here's the thing, like, with this stream, I have no plan. I'm just going at it. However, you should like the stream. There's 536 people watching, but there's only 352 likes, so yeah.
You know, and on that note, hey, if you're watching over on Twitch, hit the follow button. And also go subscribe to Keffels on Twitch. Hit the follow button on Keffels on Twitch. And hey, if you're watching on YouTube, go hit the subscribe button and like the stream. You little goons. You goony goobers. We have 82 likes on the stream right now. We could get 100. I think we could get 100. I believe in us. I believe. Also, hey, consider coming over to riverboat.gg and subscribing, all right? Or gifting subs, or, you know, being cool and goobery. We have had some white names in chat today, so just keep an eye out. We don't want to be infiltrated by all of those white names. Now, also, go subscribe to Keffels. Go subscribe to Keffels, both of Keffels' channels. Keffels and Keffels Live. Do it. You lazy, amazing, horrible person. I'm sorry. I don't know why I started by being mean. I don't know why I started by calling you guys lazy. And then I tried to compensate by saying something nice, and then I was like, wait, no, I need to be mean again. So peopling is really not my skill. I mean, you're not wrong. Do it, you wonderful sacks of shit.
Go nuts. Okay, let's get back into reacting to the react.
All right, there was like 8 people at a fucking table. There are way more people in DSA than there are fucking tankies. Okay, and
oh no, there we go. We're fixed. I hate to think what your small talk with Clarice is like. Oh god, you have no idea. I'm such a little goober. And like we're just so perfect for each other. Like I'll walk into a room and instead of saying anything, like we'll just make eye contact and then one of us will go, and that will convey all of the information that we need to know about the other, and then we will respond with another, like a little shimmy in response that also conveys information. Like there's the I'm hungry shimmy, or do you want snacks shimmy, or there's the I love you shimmy. There's a lot of different shimmies. They all convey vast amounts of information, okay? We have we have a very special way of communicating. That's how bees dance. Oh, bees dance to talk. Maybe we're just giant human bees. Human beesings. Listen, the autism wiggle is real. It's true. We do have A to A communication. That is true. I'm too autistic for shimmy. God.
most of them a little liberal for my taste. Okay, so let's just be honest.
River
about where the
B
ball is
Jack.
at,
True.
couples. Oh, you don't realize how many tankies are out there, bro. You don't realize how many tankies are out there. Like that is what's being revealed here. Your lack of.
They didn't even watch the whole video to see the examples that I gave. Like, biggest political Twitch streamer Hassan is a sympathizer to tankies. Biggest political content creator on the left on YouTube, second thought, is a tanky. The biggest Twitter account by engagement, Jackson Hinkle, is a tanky. Like, it's not really hard to look into these things. I think it's very telling that they seemingly only put this video on because they wanted to get in their dunks, which is why they only got 2 minutes, 38 seconds in. They didn't pre-watch.
Well, look, just because they're the biggest doesn't mean anything. Obviously, we shouldn't talk about them. They're not a problem yet.
Watch it to figure out what my positions were. They just wanted.
Wouldn't that
to
make you a
laugh at
manabee?
me.
Oh, manabees would be adorable if they existed, Salmon Moose.
And I think it really is an insecurity thing. They didn't treat Bosch like this. There's zero good faith here. And yeah, I do think that misogyny plays a part here. Absolutely.
Self-awareness is being exposed in real time. We're only 2 minutes and 38 seconds into this video. We've made 20.
I am 19 minutes, 11 seconds into their react to this. Like, despite how venomous they treat me, I am showing them significantly more respect than they did.
20 minutes of content. Now, that's how bad you're doing.
Yeah, dude, remember when they did the dumbass march against the war machine or whatever? That was like probably the single greatest physical concentration of actual tankies that has ever taken place in this country, and it was still like not even 1,000 people. It was like a couple fucking Haas fans waving Russian flags out front of the
And even a bunch of people who I wouldn't even say are like directly tanky, just tanky adjacent. You know, they're flirting with that Haiphong diagonal that we talk about over here. You know what I mean? They go up and then but then they endorse a Green Party candidate. They fucking interview Scott.
What was even the point of saying that they were going to react to this video? By the time they stop reacting, they only get to 5 minutes out of the 22-minute video that they said they were going to react to.
Wait, did they not actually make it through?
Ritter, and then they fucking, come back down here. They say that China has eliminated poverty, but then they say, well, actually, I think I prefer Howie Hogg. They flirt with the line, right? Anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep hurting ourselves.
Also,
Devils, I
shout out
hope
to
you turn it around.
Yeah, also shout out to Don. I totally forgot about that guy, but he was a actual IRL tanky.
Bro, I remember the first time I went into his house. I was just like in high school still, and he had that apartment across the street from work, and he had like a big USSR flag hung up, and like he was an interesting guy. That guy got fucked though. He was on papers for like a year, and then he started taking way too much acid because it's like, you know, acid doesn't show up on your drug test. And I'm like, bro, you can't be taking acid like every day. That shit will fuck with you over time. Like, I was like, I don't know. I've taken acid like once or twice in my entire life. And I'm like, I think that's enough for me, man.
And you're like, I'm still reeling from
I'm
those.
still reeling from it. You know, that
Yeah, this is ridiculously USA brained. They seemingly cannot comprehend that people live outside of the United States.
Whoa. What? Guys. People live outside of the United States? What? Yeah, I think I'm gonna need to see a citation on that one, because I've learned all about geography, and I can name all 50 states, and not one of them is outside of the US, okay? That can't be right. It can't be right. Yeah, you mean outside of the... Oh, bread and the toast. Yeah, outside of the US, like Hawaii or Alaska. Both of those are outside the United States. Guam, Puerto Rico. Okay, it all makes sense. Some people do live in those places.
They also have a very hard time actually keeping on track with what points they're trying to make.
that fucking St. Patrick's Day when we took all that acid is still fucking burned into my fucking brain. When I saw the one-armed man at the McDonald's drive-thru, dude, it's gonna be with me forever. It's gonna be with me forever. And Bookworm Skates is...
You took acid and were driving around? Why? That's just irresponsible.
saying that he's a real-life tanky. Well, shout out to you, Bookworm Skates. He's representing. He's holding it down. That's 1 out of 200 in the Vanguard audience. So I feel ya. Maybe Keffels is right. In 100 years, if the online left stays at the same trajectory, there will be 3.
Yeah, how old are the Vanguard boys? Are they children? Like, are they like 20-year-old babbies? Yeah, like who takes acid and then goes to like McDonald's? Why would you do that? I took acid and forgot how to speak English once. That sounds traumatic.
3% fucking tankies.
Sorry. The smugness and condescension here is so funny. He doesn't know my positions. He can't even react to the video, but he keeps saying what he thinks that I believe. They're just so annoying and bad faith.
Instead of half of 1%. Tank.
Sorry, Bookworm Skates. We can't accept this blood money.
Yeah.
We don't accept money from those who defend genocide.
Wow, fake. Wow. Shame on you, Bookworm Skates.
All right, let's watch a little more of this.
Marxist-Leninists. Marxism-Leninism is a massive political force outside of the United States and the Western countries. To minimize that is honestly a level of detachment from issues that are happening.
We have to come in again.
They can't even get 30 seconds in before they have to cut off the react. I can't even finish the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah, they should just let the video play. I don't understand why. It's so bad faith.
She's about to genuinely come out here and pretend that China is a fucking communist country. She's about to come out here and pretend that China is a legitimate communist country. And here's where we're gonna have to be like, hey, look, I'm not very smart. Okay, I'm a college dropout. I'm not very learned.
I don't think that China is a communist country. They are very much a Marxist-Leninist state, though. You can't argue against that point. Their government is run by democratic centralism, which is a very It's a very fundamental part of the organizational structure of Leninist governments.
Not, but they have a fucking president that suspended elections forever. They have 100% capitalism functioning in their country all the time, and what they've done is they've just done state-sponsored capitalism. Okay, say it again with me, Gavin. State-sponsored.
I completely agreed with Zach. I don't understand because he's not actually willing to listen to the positions that I have or anything that I'm saying, but he does love talking over women. Are they trying to say that MLism is communism without committing to saying it? Yeah, that's very weird. These are completely two different concepts. Marxism-Leninism is both an ideology and a way to organize political structures.
Capitalism. Do you really think that a communist country would behave like China is behaving? No, you do not.
By the way, for the record, I'm also a college dropout, but I don't bring this up as I don't think there's a reason to. I think that you should be able to just make arguments and you should be able to back up your own arguments. But it's kind of hard for him to even debunk my arguments when they're not willing to let me lay the point out fully.
No, you do not. And that's why we get in arguments with tankies, because we correctly shred their arguments that China's not actually a communist country. Okay? But just in buying into that, it's like you might as well be on fucking MSNBC right now, fucking talking about how, oh, Marxist Leninism and the fucking Trotskyites, they've overrun everything over there in the world. You don't understand because you're living in your bubble of capitalist glory here in the fucking Western world over there. You know, just some like I don't know.
What
I
was
think she lives in Ireland now, you said. She doesn't have an Irish accent.
so.
She's got a Canadian accent that's pretty clear, no matter what she's talking about. But anyway,
what?
Outside of America, and I would call it very American-centric thinking.
Damn.
That's so
What? Wait, was he trying to do a Canadian accent? Or and failed miserably, or is it just like, oh, she moved to Northern Ireland, so that's the accent? Like, was he trying to do Northern Ireland? And just like, I genuinely have no idea.
I'm saying, like,
that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard come out of somebody's mouth. It's so American-centric to think that China's not doing like actual fucking praxis communism right now. Like, what the fuck is the
What is this argument?
matter with you? Like, why? Like,
take off your blinders, bro. Go to Northern Ireland and fucking get some culture.
Exactly.
What the hell, dude?
You know, I get it though. She hates. She doesn't like communism. She's a bigger fan of GoFundMe, not GoFund the rest of you. I will say. I did do it. She's like, this guy has no idea what's going on with me. I'm like, oh, I did a little bit of digging. I bet you didn't like that. Oh yeah, who wants to lecture who? Who's got them?
Wow. Oh no, he's mad. He's incredibly mad. It just so tilted. Like, I get it. He hates women. That's fine. But
oh, has no one ever? He was doing the Lucky Charm. Why?
Pushed back and been like, dude, you're just incredibly fucking petty.
A moral high ground, huh? I've never had a GoFundMe page, and I don't know. I still need to do some more digging into that lawsuit. I'm sorry. I don't know. I couldn't find any links to it, but maybe. Anyway.
Schedule A, Particulars of Discrimination in the matter of a human rights application filed under Section 34 of the Ontario Human Rights Code between Clara Catherine Sorrenti and London Police Services Board and London Police Services. Go fuck yourself before spreading misinformation.
Nah, but why go fuck yourself before spreading misinformation when you could just do that? Why bother checking to see if the things you were saying are true or not?
Just incredibly fucking smug. But also, I think it's important to point out here that The research that he did was slander, lies, and spreading misinformation. Not actually into the politics and the arguments that I was making.
But we're too dumb. We're too dumb to figure it out. We don't even know that China's doing real communism and it's taking over all of the eastern portion of the globe, and it's a scourge. It's a scourge, Gavin. And only the brave lefties on the internet like Keffels are speaking out against it. Her and Dylan Burns, they're the last freedom fighters. I don't know if you knew it. Vosh has been letting them down recently. He hasn't been a strong enough soldier for NATO and against China. So that's not real leftism, okay, Gavin? They just want to make sure you know that.
Why is your whole Twitter timeline about tankies and communists? Like, you seem really obsessed with this, but I know you haven't followed Keffels' career very much, if at all, Zach. But did you have any thoughts on this?
I know almost nothing about Keffels. I know that she's popular and that she had beef with Destiny, and then that she was in that one picture of Destiny and Vosh eating dinner in DC the other day, and then she did not look very pleased to be there. But yeah, no, I mean, this is kind of like, I don't know, it's like LARPy. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm sure there.
So, a few thoughts here. Why would the video be Keffel's new anti-communist grift, where they admit in the video itself that they actually know nothing about me? He literally cannot let me finish the point. He just hates.
He can't let you finish the sentence. If he did, his tiny testicles would get smaller. Remember? Because of Dylan Burns. Keep up with the program.
Hates me so much. As far as
See, that's why would they title the headline describing exactly what the fuck I'm doing? Like, what are you talking about, dude? The reason I'm so passionate on the topic of tankies is because I used to be in the Communist Party. And then you say, I'm not even talking shit on the Communist Party. What do you think? This is anti-communist grifting? Like, okay, you could be like, it's not grifting. This is just anti-communist propaganda. And I would be like, all right, splitting hairs, tomato, tomato. You know what? We get to name our content. You get to name your content, right? But to pretend that that's not what she's explicitly doing here, and that I'd have to have somehow like a fucking PhD course in Keffel's fucking.
I literally just asked, like, the point that I was making is, why would you do this content and present it to your audience as if they already know me when you've never talked about me, and you admit in the same video that you have never watched a single video that I have ever done and don't know anything about me?
Political evolution in order to like actively commentate on one tweet. Like, this is Twitter, honey. We take fucking one tweet and we read it and we give our reaction to it, and that's Twitch Live.
I do not appreciate being called honey by someone who looks like Shane Dawson. God.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't appreciate being called babe or honey or a pet name by a guy who allegedly fucked his cat.
Live streaming. You do it for a living. I do it on YouTube. It's the same exact shit. Don't profile.
Sorry, a guy who looks like another guy who allegedly fucked his cat. There we go.
And it's funny because it's literally the exact same thing that right-wingers do. We always talk about this, how Republicans, just like mainstream Republicans, they call all leftists communists. They call everyone from fucking Nancy Pelosi to Barack Obama a socialist. They act like everyone is like this a scary representation of some sort of like USSR form of communism, which just does not even exist in a meaningful way in the mainstream left right now. Maybe it does more in parts of Europe. Obviously, we live in America, but I'm just saying it's not a serious political force. And when you spend your entire career as
just, once again, it's just shadow boxing. I was hesitant at first to say that this is just misogyny, but this is literally just misogyny. The fact that you just called me honey, he doesn't know me. That's not a term of endearment that he used. It's a term that he used in order to dismiss me because I'm a woman.
Lefty commentator, or at least a substantial portion of it, focusing on communists and tankies, and blowing them up and acting like they're a bigger problem than they are. You really are no different than your mainstream Fox News commentator who just sits here and acts like neo-Marxism is making a return. And the left,
rising threat of postmodern neo-Marxism.
Do they not understand how bad faith they're being to compare my positions
No, they're too dumb. They're too dumb to realize that.
to Fox News and Jordan Peterson? Yeah, I wasn't even mean to them.
It's like
How is
actually
it a different
mainstream
argument? How is
liberal.
it a different argument?
It's not. Yeah, just like these dumb straw man arguments about how like mainstream liberal or leftist ideology is some sort of a Trojan horse for fucking radical authoritarian communism. When it's like it's just not the case. It's just not the case. The vast majority of people, activists that are organizing around left-wing goals understand that unfortunately we live in a pretty solidly capitalist system right now, and that it's not exactly feasible to just straight up, abolish capitalism, bring about communism. Like maybe, hopefully, at some point we'll be having that conversation.
Kevin's
but right
selling
now,
out the movement right now. RIL, guys. IRL. I said RIL. See again, Keffels. Why are you fucking beef? If you can't win an argument against us, if our shed still has sharper tools in it, as it were,
It's true. You guys are very very stupid. Like I don't know what to tell you guys. like if they're just sitting there being like, yeah, we're big time dipshits. We majorly don't understand what we're talking about. We literally have no idea what the fuck we're saying. How are we conveying messages from our minds to our mouth holes? We don't know. When I close my eyes, the entire world stops existing. But like, yeah, you guys are pretty dumb.
They started reacting to this video.
Yeah, the main difference is, an adult with object permanence issues would probably know better than to go and start a podcast where they just broadcast that they are know-nothing dipshits to the entire world.
At 3 minutes in, they are now 28 minutes in.
Oh my god.
They have gotten to 3 minutes and 54 seconds of the video. You can't win an argument if you're not even willing to hear what the arguments being made against you are. Nothing that I've said has actually been engaged with. It's just insults and Zach being an incredibly smug, condescending person. It's honestly just embarrassing.
Also, I do have to say, like, I'm being more mean than Keffels is here, because Keffels tends to be a pretty nice person. Like, I just generally speaking, like, Keffels acts with way more restraint than the people who, like, complain or, like, go after Keffels. Like, it's wild. Don't say that. No, I mean, like, I feel like I've been talking about their tiny testicles, okay? I've been mean in this conversation here, right? But like, I think it's warranted, frankly. Yeah. It's not mean if it's true. Okay, fair.
For them.
We have a very, very loose grasp on the English language. Okay,
Okay, I was doing a bit before about how does brain make mouth sounds, but okay, I guess he could just validate the bit.
This show is co-hosted and, the microphone often commandeered by a man with a fucking insane neurodivergency. So we can't be held responsible for most of what we say. But
that's actually insanely ableist. It's actually so insanely ableist to just be like, Yeah, I have mental illnesses, and therefore can't be held responsible for what I say or do. What the fuck?
Even we tied a bow on this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch the next however long we can bear with this until we have our guest come on. But we've already tied a boat on this segment, and I haven't even done my roasting yet. So
I know,
let's
right? We haven't even got to the good part.
Picture with me, Bosch, and Destiny, we were all told to look unhappy for the picture.
Wow,
One
that
of the
sounds-
things that I think
that
is
sounds-
very weird.
We're all told to look unhappy for the picture. So that still means that I was 100% correct when I said she didn't look happy to be there. Oh, they were telling
Yeah.
me to pose. Why were you posing to look unhappy in a picture with 2 other fucking Twitch streamers? That seems LARPy again. Double point for the Vanguard.
Wait, is being told to pose for a photo LARP?
It's not really LARPy. They were doing a bit. They were doing a bit. And y'all fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
I'm learning new things today. If anyone ever asks you to pose for a photo, apparently you are a LARPer.
Yeah. Such a dry kind of like correction too. Like, we're obviously just joking, you know, we're off the cuff, we're fucking making some jokes. Like, actually,
We're just telling some jokey jokes and claiming you're a fraud.
I was told to frown for that. Okay. Okay. I don't think you're really getting the point here.
Well, our journalistic, integrity has already been shredded in this, Gavin. We didn't fucking do our homework and read every tweet and watch every video before we made a comment on this. So I'm sorry we responded to our chat in real time.
I don't actually even know what the point that they were trying to make was. I have no idea what the position that they hold is that they're so mad at me about. Is how me saying this is apparently LARPy when talking about my lived experience as a member of a Marxist-Leninist party, someone who's run for office as a Marxist-Leninist,
How'd
someone
that
who
go
has
for ya?
shaken hands with Marxist-Leninists from a wide variety of countries across the world
Wow.
and been thanked for my activism by the
Wow.
Venezuelan
This
embassy.
is fucking crazy. You
I
got
don't
thanked by the
understand what is
Venezuelan
LARPy
embassy?
Yes.
Wow. Did you know that I was personally thanked by the Venezuelan embassy? Okay. So why don't you withdraw those? The power. Do you know how powerful the Marxist Leninists are? I shook hands with a Venezuelan in an embassy.
Yes, the Venezuelan ambassador thanked me for the activism I did. I don't know why this is a... I don't understand what the roast is. Like,
It's not that's because there is no roast. They're just allergic to actually accomplishing or pushing for leftist action. You know, they're kind of like a slightly more left-leaning South Park if South Park wasn't funny and was instead just full of drooling dipshits.
how does me talking about these things somehow discredit my position?
You know who else is shaking hands in an embassy? Julian Assange. Yeah, you gonna answer questions about that? Ecuadorian embassy there, Venezuelan embassy where I was from. Apples and oranges, sure, but I understand. You want to know what kind of corners I brush elbows with? Sure. Wow. What do you guys do? You live in Kansas City. What do you do? Nothing. Nothing. Just like you. Just like you. Except I'm not so LARPy. I've shooken hands with the fucking embassy.
How is it LARPy to say you shook hands with ambassadors? I don't understand. That is literally the opposite of what something being LARPy is. That's actual real life politics.
Yeah, from Venezuela. A Venezuelan LARPy embassy. Yeah, literally. I've been destroyed. My credibility is fucking...
What?
Yeah, that almost just like made your point even stronger.
How?
About that. The things that I talk about come from the things that I experienced in my own life. I was not radicalized into being a tanky because of the internet. My first exposure to Marxism-Leninism was literally going to Cuba at a young age and reading the Cuban national newspaper.
There are college campuses where there's fucking a bunch of people who are mentally unwell, who are saying things like,
I'm actually very impressed that they gave me a bit more time to react. You know, this is the longest time period where they haven't paused the video, but what is that face that Zach is making right here? Yeah, he's doing the Kubrick stare. What?
He's doing the Kubrick stare. Or is he doing the Shane Dawson stare? Which stare is he doing? Who can say? Who can say? Whomst amongst us can say? The plot thickens.
What is that? All right, I'll just put myself over here.
Oh, if we get power, it'll be death to all who oppose us and whatever. But I mean, that just, it gives all of leftism a bad name. It like shines a light on like the most absolute fringe, most absolute like. Basically, what you're revealing is that you never had a very good sense of like political acumen. You were like, oh, I got swept up by the absolute most minority position that you could possibly.
It seems like they agree with me, but also they are woefully undermining how much they seem to understand what the current.
No, this is what's fucked up, Gavin. Let me look up the population, like Communist Party registration, like membership America. And these are probably going to be skewed to oblivion by the 15,000 estimated members in the United States Communist Party. Wow, what a political force, right? We better really be worried about what that voting bloc does in the next election. Are you hearing yourself, Keffels? Like, we are making fun of you because you're.
I wasn't talking about the Communist Party USA. I don't give a shit about the Communist Party USA. I am just baffled. This might be one of the most bad faith reacts that I've seen. Like, even Keemstar was more willing to listen to me. And that's wild. Fucking Keemstar.
You're focusing on a fringe, irrelevant portion of the online left. And yes, we know that fringe is stupid, but if you make your entire timeline about it, it just makes it look like you really don't care about any of the goals of the actual authentic left, i.e. the examples I already gave. Like, oh no, I'm actually just only talking about the like fucking radical, like far, separatist black militant groups, not Black Lives Matter, when I say that I don't think that we need, to be supporting like the radical black activists. You see what I mean? If you put another fucking example on it, you can see how, if you use a hyperbolic, like very offensive example potentially, you can see how bad the argument is. That's essentially the same argument that she's using here. She's saying that because there's a few fucking crazy people on the left spectrum, I am now justified in talking about it all the time and making it seem like it's a way bigger issue than it actually is. And honestly, just giving oxygen to, again, a very fringe movement. And you can tell how fragile she feels about it because she has to keep giving these like bullshit examples like, oh, well, guess what, Keffels, my girlfriend went to Cuba and I was also exposed to fucking Marxist propaganda and fucking she also had a, upstate New York liberal education that I think has rubbed off on me in a way that makes me also.
I'm glad that your girlfriend went on a vacation. I don't understand. I don't even know what to say anymore at this point, just that it's been the same thing over and over again where they're unwilling to engage with the point, and then any of the experience that I have in political organizing, reading theory, I used to run Marxist-Leninist reading groups in order to educate party members. I don't get what they want.
So question her commitment to the American flag and, just all kinds of shit like that. It's like, one time I was in the same bus as a man who drove a car. And when he was in that car, he also one time drove past Fidel Castro. So don't you challenge my credentials. One time I met with the former governor of Minnesota in a private residence and discussed his experience with Fidel Castro. How about that?
How do you even respond when it's this bad faith? I'm honestly baffled by this. Like, what is he even talking about?
That for credentials, Keffels. It's just like, come on now. You don't have to just you don't have to debase yourself and humiliate yourself even further by being like, one time I shook hands with an embassy official and I've met communists in real life. Damn it, that they would send shivers up your spine. How real they are. You know, it's like, okay, well, I didn't realize that tankies and communists were such a big problem that we needed to resort to neo-McCarthyism. But I'm a little
Right.
dazed and confused there. But
Yeah, dude. And she goes on to make the point that, like, oh, well, the fact that Jackson Hinkle is so popular on Twitter and he identifies as a Marxist-Leninist, that's proof that this is a burgeoning ideology which needs
LOL,
to
the
be taken
Nas balls are
seriously.
taking over.
Yeah, it's like she just
Yeah?
continues to list incredibly niche, terminally online
Jackson Hinkle has the most engagement of any people who use Twitter.
Nah, he's just a silly little guy. This is what you don't understand with your woman brain, Keffels. He's just a silly little guy. Thanks for keeping me entertained with good company while I fail to conquer insomnia. Charlie, thank you for the $10 super chat over on YouTube. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Means a lot, especially as like just a little babby YouTube streamer.
He's not niche.
Honestly, what it feels like here. What it feels like right now, it feels like this. It feels like
I don't know why we're doing this, Lauren.
It's because the ice stars did it earlier as well.
Yeah, but we're not ice stars, Lauren. We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
We're playing for HTQ without it later on. If you'd like to play HTQ, email soon. It's the happiness
Oh, you do it. Do get permission and leave your phone number because by jingo, it'll be worse than this if you don't. Oh, you're just kidding. You love this. Yes, Lauren.
It's because the ice stars did it earlier as well.
Yeah, but we're not ice stars, Lauren. We're just normal men.
we're just normal men. We're
What do you
just
mean, normal
innocent men.
We're just innocent men.
That's what this feels like, chat. I don't understand this meme. The meme is this little puppet, just apropos of nothing, just said, "We're just men, Laura. We're just innocent men." And then she completely broke and laughed while filming a program. It's funny. It's funny. The little bear puppet broke her. Yeah, it's literally just what, Laura. We're just beans, Laura. We're just innocent beans. We're just innocent little beans. They're just normal men.
He has a bigger platform than both me and the Vanguard boys.
examples of why this is actually a real problem, only further proving how it's not a real problem and it's really just terminally online people that even know about it. And let's take a look, because we've been talking a lot about America and how there's basically zero Communist Party presence in our politics. I remember we actually talked to the single elected communist, Wasaya Whitebird, yeah, from Wisconsin, I believe. He was like on a city council.
Yeah, and he was like right up north, like way almost Canada. He said it got cold as shit there.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah, that does tend to happen in that area of the planet.
I believe he actually stepped down from that position on the city council in Wisconsin. I forget what the city was.
It's actually funny because Wasaya Whitebird, I also had him on my podcast years ago, like when I ran a communist podcast.
This man passed away because they couldn't provide shelter for him, and he had taken it really personally because, as I mentioned, it gets really fucking cold there, and the guy froze to death. And I know that was really fucking hard for him, because he felt like, obviously,
and see how much communist representation is powerless ideology with almost no representation in the halls of power.
Yep, shamefully. I mean, and that's what's fucked up, is that a lot of those people are actually cool. Like, those people aren't tankies. Like, a lot of those people actually have really firm convictions, are very pro-peace, they're very pro-human rights, and they will call out. Like, those are the people that we react to base videos coming out from. Now he does the job of Marianne Williamson's campaign management, which is tight. So we're going to get an update from him. And then after that, we've got our good friend Kevin Gostola coming on. We're going to have a great chat with him.
For the super chat.
Okay, so it's actually done. Like they've misrepresented
What?
everything.
They didn't even make it. They didn't even make it through the video. Oh my god. All right. I
managed
guess.
to get 29 minutes out of reacting to 5 minutes where they wouldn't even let me finish a point. They had a shit ton of sexism.
They didn't even finish the entire video. That's crazy, dog.
Like very obvious that Zach especially just hates women.
Yeah, I cannot imagine how lazy you have to be to post that video. Like what the hell is wrong with you? Like who while editing is like, ah yes, this is a good segment. Time to put that into the thing I'm broadcasting to everybody. Like I know I've had bad segments before, but that was terrible. And once again, Keffel's W. Wallman. Well, that was certainly one of the seggies of all time. True.